Yeah, it's funny, these songs that make you cry, because then you start thinking about your life, even though it's kind of cheesy if you were shopping, but you listen to it anyway. Like 555s on this one, so it likes the 555s. It should be a band, the 555s. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. There is a band that has numbers that's in the Quentin Tarantino movie. That's a cool band. It's weird, when I lived in a house, those papers, the other people would get them. You can make money off those papers. Sometimes they're like green sheets. Yeah, you can tell when you're around in the front yard, you're like, hey, what's that paper doing there? Your eyes will just go to it. But I lived in this place in Irving off of West Rochelle. As a house. We lived there for about a year under really giving and landlord that I ended up yelling at later because he didn't let us buy it. But the house would get the green paper, or the green sheet, or whatever the homeowners would get, and other people would come by and drive up and steal them right off your front yard. They stole one of ours one time. Just drove off, It happens. One thing I love about The Last Temptation of Christ, and it won't make my list at all. It'll never make my list for personal reasons. I see it as a spiritual experience rather than a movie. Martin Scorsese's Last Temptation of Christ. So I don't recommend it, and it's your job if you want to watch it. But is all the shots of nothing. If you watch it, he'll go to something that's not there. Quite often in the movie, Scorsese, I don't know if he was aware of it, but something that's just not there, like basically God. A few times he does that. Then one time you hear the presence of God walking. Now, one thing about Passion is I got to go to SMU when I was in high school and see a modern art dance troupe. They were a modern dance troupe, Martha Graham kind of stuff, do this beautiful choreographed dance to the Passion. So basically, when you're trading off with the customer, they let you have that moment of utility in front of them because they're a witness. A person's a witness. They have to give you a certain amount of time before they give you the next one. So you have to do it right there in front of them if they're in front of you when they receive the food. If not, then you gotta act really quick so that you can go back to your central. Right? So you can go to your center point. Now, actors do this in plays, and they can get there, but sometimes they have to fake it so they can get back to the center, and then they can recover. And that's sometimes what Lee Strasberg talks about, the moment of difficulty. That's when the actor breaks. Think of Deer Hunter, when he is being forced to put the gun to his head. That was a moment of difficulty for the actor. And Lee Strasberg explores it better than any of the teachers. And they all admit it to it. Meisner would admit it, all of them. It's a moment of reality and emotion mixed together. And how they get there is all personal. But they get there, and that's the moment of difficulty, and then they return back to center to use their system again. They break. You will be seeing that, or you've already seen it in the Domino's pizza scene. I got there. Style of acting, like Kevin Smith, for an example, they do sides and telescope sometimes to a certain extent, although the script is very good. I've watched Clerks and read it at the same time on the screenplay. But there is a style to every director. So, you know, I just wanted to say that with method acting and things like that. This is Disneyland. We got one in Sweet Garden. Ooh, it's getting a little fighty. She says they're not too busy, but for some reason it feels real busy. Looks like they're saying 629 with a 3-minute leeway. Right, so Kia had me go to the highway, and I'm following Google, and Google has me go the passageway. They're going to recalculate right now, or they're trying to. So Google's going to be the right choice, ultimately. But they try. So they're having me go straight with losing a minute. Google's got them beat by a minute this time. And Google pretty much had them beat the last time too, because they lied. Now we're going through this way. Well, they lied because they predicted it wrong by about 3 or 4 minutes, but they got some airtime. So that's pretty impressive. They jumped up on stage.
A simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Fire.
Pretty crazy doing an REM cover out in the middle of nowhere. Mere Fury, bringing it to home. The REM's The One I Love, a real band, and they pulled it off. I wouldn't have tried it. I'd have told the band, no guys, we're going to go in a different direction. We're not going to do an REM song. But they did. So we thought about it, but Prepare to be slain by the man. REM is not a man, but it's a band. The greatest band in the world, some people say, other than Led Zeppelin. Maybe Pink Floyd and then REM. And I forgot the lead singer's name. Now I know his name. Everybody knows his name. He knew River Phoenix. Michael Stipe, and yes, he did know River Phoenix. He dedicated the album Monster to him. I did get to go to Bass Hall and meet James Patterson, the novelist. My wife at the time, my first wife, got his autograph. I did not. I was a Stephen King fan, so I didn't bring any James Patterson books, but she did. She got the autograph. We got it like right in there. He was sitting at a table. But he did his whole spiel, his whole stand-up comedy routine in the actual auditorium, and it was pretty full. It wasn't completely full, but it was close. And he had a little Josse Bank jacket on. And I just, he didn't even barely give me the time of day. I just kind of went by him. I just kind of said hello. And then he's really funny because he has a story about how he used to work for a psychiatric ward. When he saw this guy jump through a window in the psychiatric floor, he jumped through one of those plate glass windows, flipping out, he decided to start writing it down. He's like, I need to write this down. And then he eventually got into the serial writing business where he wrote for advertisement. And then he eventually got into being a crime novelist. And a lot of people like him. He's very violent in his language. His stories are violent. But Stephen King hasn't talked a lot. He has 200 million more than Stephen King. So he's got 700 million. Stephen King's got 500 million. So he beat him out. But the first thing he says, everyone thinks that I'm Stephen King or that I know Stephen King, that kind of thing. Or you want to hear about Stephen King. He mentions Stephen King. But he's not Stephen King. He's more simple. He's a beautiful children's story writer. He wrote one called Maximus Ride. Maximus Ride. And I read it when I was a substitute teacher. It's one of my favorite children's stories called Maximus Ride. And my friend wrote a play called Brother and Sister with Wings. And I told him, you need to read this book called Maximus Ride by James Patterson. He says, I'll read it, blah, blah, blah. I think I know what you're talking about. And his play has been done twice here in Fort Worth. It's Robert Bosquez's play. His play is called Brother and Sister with Wings. And it's about a brother and sister with wings that are on the run. And so is Maximus Ride, in a way. They're both very good. One's a play and one's a novel. And I used to work with Robert Bosquez on stage as an actor. And, he knows me a little bit as a playwright, too. Because we did a play called Man 1, Man 2 here in Fort Worth. That got reviewed by the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Man 1, Man 2, 3 minutes old. It was the title at the time. It was redone in Denton with a guy named Danny Whitworth. He's the brother of Johnny Whitworth, who is in 310 to Huma with Christian Bell. And Johnny Whitworth plays Tommy, who dies. These are really hard coming up, guys. Gotta be quick. Says Johnny was able to beat it with jogging. He jogs. So he was able to beat it. And you can beat it with jogging. But don't tell that to my mother-in-law. They did provide entry code, but it doesn't always work. Usually it does, Jack. And Jack's in there somewhere. So is fucking Gary, old fucking cheater. First step, same as the first. Just last night, I was reminded of just how bad he had gotten and just how sick I had become. He deranged with his relationship. It had changed. We all been through shit. Oh, and he's carrying a dog. How cute is that? Yeah, they give the building number. It works so much easier. Yes, it does. It's just so much more pleasant. Building number. Interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. Skanky. You cute little doggy. Talking Heads, best band in the world. I wanted to make a movie about their starting up in New York. I like the early times. Just like I want to make a movie about the starting up Marlon Brando when he's getting involved in Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway. He slowly gets accepted. It ends with him getting accepted to Hollywood as a screen actor. It happened after Streetcar Named Desire. Now, with Talking Heads, it was when they met. They were going to art school. They started, it's like when they're starting, I like that. I like that feeling. They did one about CBGB, about Hilly Crystal, and it was good. And it shows the Talking Heads. But on another note, since I talked about the Talking Heads, I wanted to talk about something else that now slipped my mind because I was talking about the Talking Heads. But projects and stuff that you put on Final Draft, future projects are so important in your early stages. You guys are lucky that you get to work with a vault. You can put everything in all your eggs in one basket, but don't do it. Use a journal and write it down with a pen and paper. Use that as much as you can and store all those things in a file box. I travel around with 3 boxes of written material. That's your gold. And if you auction it off, it'll be worth the most. If Stephen King auctioned off the thing that's going to be worth a lot of money is going to be the glass floor. That was one of the first things that he wrote. And that's another point I wanted to make, because the Talking Heads wrote things down too. So does Stephen King, and so does a lot of people. But it's not about the amount of stuff that you write down. It's about when you're doing it. It's about that moment, or that private moment. You're thinking and you're on your own and you made that decision, like I did with Your Love with Paid Training. I finally decided this is 3 separate stories. It's one story about the ADT alarm equipment burglary salesman that's going door to door, and he meets this crazy lady and they just go off. Then it ends abruptly. And there's moments that they have, and then you don't get to see the rest of the life. Not all lives you get to see everything, like Schenectady, New York. Then you have basically you have a moment of that's a very easy writer where it flashes, and that's the walk-in vault, which is the second story. I put it in the first story. It flashes for a moment and you see a scene, and then it goes back and finishes. Then it says part 2 and leads you in to part 2. New York Stories keeps it all separate with Martin Scorsese. He does life lessons. Francis Ford Coppola comes in with Life Without Zoe, also with Sofia Coppola's help. Then it separates and there's Oedipus Rex, and you have 3 separate directors. And this one, you have 3 directors, but I'm the director. But I'm showing 3 different styles of filmmaking. And it crosses over, and one is in the other one. You're wondering why that's in there. When part 2 comes up, then you're in the vault, right? The walk-in safe is what it's called. In part 2, you're in the walk-in safe. It happened to me when I was a kid. We went into a walk-in safe during a tornado that we thought had hit. And it didn't hit, but we thought it was hitting our area. So we went into a walk-in safe and the door shut. So you see it twice. You see it once within the memory of Jay. Then you go to a separate story, which is Jay's story. The young boy is only called the young boy, and the father is called Will. Then there's Sammy, the security guard. All that's the second one. Tonight, what we're going to challenge, a big event, is we're going to try to do part 3 and release it. And that will be about baggage claim. Now, they don't sing a Talking Head song. I'm kind of in a way writing it for Sean Lennon because my playwright friend hasn't responded to me about possibly trying to do it. So Sean Ono Lennon is kind of who I'm picturing the guy playing it. So I may not use Sean Ono Lennon, but John Lennon's son, but I'm picturing it because he sings in it. So that kind of thing. Now, that is what we're going to work on tonight, which is the 3rd part of Your Love with Paid Training, which is baggage claim. It'll be on the 3rd section of the screenplay. I will enter this probably into a contest or something. Then it'll be PDF'd, and then I'll send it to a secondary source. Everything goes on my YouTube. over the top. This scene here is in Your Love with Paid Training. This is where he parks and he goes to the railhead. I think I called it the railhead too. When you're doing the upside receipt, or well, really what it is, the upside app, you want to do the after pump receipt for the upside. That way they know you're not cheating. So that's the amount right there. Then you take the receipt, you take a photo of it. It goes to a prepaid card. You can also go to a gift card too. It's called Upside. Tooted. Now, Upside does work. You put in your number that they give to your email. It's a card number. You put your name, just like you would any other card, and you can tap pay with it. So we'll get to the amount that was given. They do charge, I think, a little bit. I'll find out. The amount that I put on there was $29. Some people have hundreds of dollars on Upside. So I'll begin using that now. Upside does provide a video to watch so that you can understand it better. They use tap pay, also known as contactless, is that a word? Contactless reader. It basically, we just call it tap pay. So you hold the phone over it's a device, a near field communication, NFC. Near field communication is what it's called on the tap pay. So you're near the field of the payment, you tap it, just like, on the phone, and you tap it, and then, that's how tap the phone on there. You don't have to tap it, but you just hover it over there, and then it pays. Appreciate you, ma'am, and I like the new hair. Now, when Big Brother starts beating up on you, have yourself a little Coke. You used to say, Bill Cosby said you smile, but can't say that anymore. You say have Pepsi and shut up. I gotta go. Cool to see Matt Damon go in and do his little thing at Criterion Closet. I value that far more than Christopher Nolan going in there. But I appreciate Christopher Nolan going in there too. But I sided more with the picks on Matt Damon. But I don't have a problem with Christopher Nolan's choices because I don't remember any of them. But I remember Matt. Matt chose My Own Private Idaho. It's one I would choose. He also chose... I thought he should have chose Jerry on the Gus Van Sant. He did 2 Gus Van Zants. But he didn't choose Jerry. And he didn't choose Good Will Hunting. He did choose My Own Private Idaho. So I was like, cool. He also chose another one I like, Knife in the Water. And I was like, dang, dude, this guy nailed it. Knife in the Water is Roman Polanski. I like it too. I choose that one too. It's a really good one. Really think about it, but Drugstore Cowboy was actually directed by Gus Van Sant. It's just a different Gus Van Sant. It's a better film. But Good Will Hunting, he didn't choose that one. I would have chosen it. But he did that. It's like Pay It Forward kind of thing. I think he should have chose A Talented Mr. Ripley. That's a dang good film. I'm not lying. I saw it in the movie theater. Totally got a crush on Matt Damon when I saw it. That's a dang good film. It's been done several different times with different directors. A French director did it too. Don't even ask me because I don't have the film literacy to know who directed The Talented Mr. Ripley. But if you're in a room and you're talking about A Talented Mr. Ripley and Matt Damon's there, know the director. I'm going to look that up. It was Anthony Minghella. He's Italian descent. I should know that. They're into Italian ice cream. But he did The Talented Mr. Ripley. He also did another very important film. Anthony Minghella did The Talented Mr. Ripley. He used Matt Damon. But he also did another important film known as The English Patient, which emotionally affected me so much that I had to get home really quick. And so I timed me going across this traffic light. And right when I got to the white line, it turned from red to green really quick. So the cop pulled me over. He said, you went across that line right when the green line turned, right when the red light turned green. How did you do that? I said, I just timed it. You could see the light over there turn, green, he was trying to get me in the police force probably. And I said, yeah, I just timed it. And I went through. It doesn't count when I hit the light, it goes right through. He said, but how did you do that? And I said, I timed it. You could see the light go from red and then, green over here, or you could see the light over here. The light over here go from green and then yellow, right? And then red. And then there's a certain amount of time and then it has to turn green at that point because you could see it, He didn't give me a warning or anything. I was also really emotional and crying. I got real emotional and did this emotional recall crying thing. I saw the light. It went from green, yellow, and red. 2002, 2003. Right when I passed by. Then all of a sudden, he almost gave me a warning, but he said, technically I can't give you one, but be careful. And I was emotional, but I wasn't crying then. I was like, I'm probably wiping tears out of my eyes. Burning with Desire coming out of The English Patient. That was Anthony Minghella. English Patient is hard to watch. When I walk in a store, this is how I look. See that guy over there? It's a freaking banker. It's a freaking blogger. Okay, got the upside going on. Revenge of the nerds. Nerds. Revenge of the... I'm trying to relax, Lisa Osberg. I'm trying to act here. Come on. Lisa Osberg, come on, hit me. That's me walking in an acting class. Come on. Yeah, I'm trying to do it. Yeah. Cole, you must relax. Shut the fuck up. Face relaxed. Breathe. Shoulders down. Relax. Now, before we get to De Niro, you have to learn to relax. So just go. Brando once talked about rock and roll. Brando once talked about how you can do things pretty or you can do things ugly. The actors that do things ugly, you know about it. And that was real, man, but that was ugly. Can you do it pretty? He talked about it. He's the guy that changed the world in acting. Changed the whole way we look at people, how we define our existence on stage and in theater and in film. He'd hit people backstage. You shouldn't do that, but he did that to this effeminate guy that made fun of his sexual orientation or whatever. And said, oh, you like boys or girls? So he hit him. They jailed him, and then Elia Kazan bailed him out on assault. So from there on, he wouldn't have done good in New York. The guy he hit was probably a pretty powerful guy, so they made him a movie star. Now, Shia LaBeouf will tell you that's not a good way to get in, because then Shia LaBeouf goes on after hitting Brando making that decision, and then he hits Brad Pitt. You don't want to hit Brad Pitt. You don't want to hit an actor. But regardless, here, let me just put it this way. You got to learn to relax and make it look pretty.
Got to make it look like Superman. Although you can't tell it's Superman because of the angle. What Bobby Skez taught me was it's all about what is it? It's a thing on a wall that says Fort Worth rather than Superman.
Bobby Skez was all about, he's a playwright, all about this is, what is this? What is that? What is that? What's that? So you can show that for so long, till you show that. So I agree with him. It's about, this looks like a freaking can of Coke. Okay, then you're good. Because then you can start building and tell a story. Blah, 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 blah. Then you meet David Lynch. And he's like, everything's scripted. I'm so using this Kia things, it's clunky and slow. It's like the Marines get the worst freaking equipment. But it's clunky and slow. But you can still use it. You just got to get to the stoplight soon. You got to tap it in. Now, you pay for the upgrade service. You can speak to it, hit this button, and then you just talk to it. But when I do it, take me to Disneyland.
Sorry, I didn't understand you. Please try your command again after the beep.
Hal, take me to Disneyland.
I still didn't understand you.
We'll do it later.
Please try your command again after...
Sometimes the map isn't programmed in there. It's like a new housing development. It's just the way it is until they update it. They can update it through a cellular. Anyway, you got to manually put it in. At least you speak it. So you got to pay extra for the speaking part of it. And you can speak into it. You can speak into her ear. Love me long time, baby. Long time. You can change it slightly to make it a little bit easier.
There's construction ahead.
That was too much construction right there. And Elliott Smith's Roman Candle. There's been Roman rulers that have rose up to power and changed all of Rome. And eventually the Catholic Church would come in. And now that's history. But before the Catholic Church, we got Messianic, because the first believers were Jewish. Then it went into the Catholic Church. But eventually it moved out of the Catholic Church when basically Martin Luther did his thing and divorced the Catholic Church in a way. He left the Catholic Church. The only one that really divorced it was Henry VIII, and he started the Anglican Church, which is Protestant, which is very similar to Catholic. And then Martin Luther changed everything and said, no, you guys are wrong. I don't follow the Pope anymore. And then he nailed the thesis on the wall, and he said, I've got backup. Die sprechen Sie Deutsch? Did get to play Apollyon, and I got to play Christian in Pilgrim's Progress, and then I got to play John Newton in A Wretch Like Me, which is a version of the Amazing Grace play. And then I was scheduled to play Martin Luther, but I had become a parent and I got big-headed, so I was asked to leave, and then I studied Martin Luther. Everyone calls Martin Luther an anti-Semite. I don't think he was exactly. I think he was kind of like Paul, Apostle Paul, in saying, listen, this is our time to change. He rebuked them, but he had to do it a certain way to get their attention. And of course, they could have burned Martin Luther, but they never did, And then he stood before the council and said, "Here I stand. This is your time to get me." Backed away. Germans took him in. Germans would have went in there and butchered all of them. Rome would have been on fire. They just needed a reason. Germans had the best weaponry, the best armor, and diehard fighters. Just like they have the best gun called the HK7. Goes right through bullet armor, or what you call body armor, like butter, even in a close distance or far away. Shoots 10 bullets right behind each other. They just go right through the body armor. Dragon armor might help them. The FAMAS is sloppy. That's the French one. It shoots damn fast. It's a good try. It's no HK7. You don't fuck with the HK7. Ask anybody. You don't fuck with that. Now the Macmillan, you don't fuck with that because it'll just tear through body armor too, but not necessarily the spider. The dragon armor, which is made out of spider webs. You don't want to fuck with the dragon armor either. And you don't want to fuck with someone that has a juggernaut suit with dragon. Rib 2, that's the apocalypse, where all the cops are pretty much wiped out. A guy goes into one of the departments, one guy, with an unlimited amount, or very many amounts of magazines, with an HK7 and a juggernaut suit, and dragon body armor, or it even protects the side of his face. Gets them all. One guy. He just had to get in. Got in with the juggernaut suit. And they couldn't leave because the police station is surrounded by all the mad people that want justice. And they all have HK7s too, waiting. He goes in and gets them all in one little sweep. And they try, but they don't have the weaponry. The only problem is his juggernaut suit has cushion. It's almost like an astronaut suit almost. And it cannot be penetrated. It's very Marvel. And they're shooting him, and he's just taking them all out with the HK7. It's in Rib 2, which will come way later. Like Purge being a crazy movie about criminals getting killed by criminals. This is about a militia that does this thing. But one guy, they prove to this one station that one guy can take them all out. They shoot all their stuff they can. And nothing, they don't have the technology or the stuff to get through the juggernaut suit with the dragon armor. So they prove that one guy can take them all out, the whole station. If they run out, then they're shot by the snipers with the Macmillans. So they all have to take it at that moment. It's kind of like the Alamo, basically. It's a scary story, but it made great cinema, asked Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it's a little Marvel Comics kind of thing maybe, but not that cheesy. I'd kind of try to make it like Christopher Nolan kind of real. Now, Christopher Nolan's snooping around. Well, listen, why don't you let me direct it? My answer, because you said it's only a novel, is they let Paul Auster do it for Blue in the Face, and also for Smoke, which I thought was better than all their shit anyway. He was a novelist that became a filmmaker. Smoke is incredible. If you ever see it, Harvey Keitel, William Hurt. Mostly by a visual, and then it creates a feeling. Then that feeling takes over. Next thing I know, I'm doing this. It usually starts with visual. Then it brings me into the vlog, and then a story starts to form. I see it first. My dad, when I was younger, he called me Eagle Eyes. We used to go deer hunting. I could hit a deer from 100 yards. The .247 rifle, this little tiny bullet went right through the deer's heart. Gun was named Heartbreaker. My dad's gun was named Dr. Death. And Heartbreaker, it served its name because the deer didn't last for very long. He took a breath and ran. And we did not have a beer with a deer. We just chopped the deer's head off because it was 1 point below the 14. So it was, it's supposed to be 14 inch. It was actually 13. 14 inch. No, it was 14 inch, but it was supposed to be, I think, antlers are supposed to be, I think, at 8 point. It has to be an 8 point buck, 14 inch spread. And it was a 7 point. And my dad was proud, but he threw the head in the bushes. Don't tell the gambler. I think that's correct. People don't realize, just like David Lynch, I used to throw papers. He threw papers when he was making Eraserhead. I threw papers back when I was in college. I had a Fort Worth route. We might have came out here. Everyone had a Fort Worth Star Telegram back in 1995, you know. They got their news through the paper, and plus they liked the way it felt in their hands. Even we would go to coffee shops and read the paper, the Fort Worth Star Telegram. I've been in it several times as an actor. It's all on archive. Now it's probably digital archive. They get it, though. They can get it. They have to pay. And then, of course, they get the green sheets. And there's other things that are thrown in yards. But you don't see it. You know, you don't see the paper. But if you go Sunday morning, there's sometimes things are thrown. And new homeowners get stuff, too. So paper is still given to people. You know, new homeowners get stuff. Paper, it could be a flyer for an alarm system. You know, things like that. But people like to do the email now, to read the news on the email. So, the old paper boy with his, the richer neighborhoods are going to have them, but they're going to be probably paid pretty well because it's a niche field now. They took a nuke.
Looks like a scene out of Caddyshack right here. We live kind of by a golf course. Right there, something like Chevy Chase walking there like taking a shower with a soap. Not Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. Well, Chevy Chase could have done it too. Chevy Chase could not have done. Oh, he was in Caddyshack. That's right. Okay, yeah. Bill Murray would have been taking a bath with some soap. They say improv. They let Bill Murray just like, okay, do the Jim Carrey thing, Bill Murray. Like, who the fuck is Jim Carrey? There's a time traveler that was on set. It's like, fuck, I'm on the wrong fucking set. Shit. You think disappears. No. Bill Murray was incredible in Caddyshack, especially when he ate that baby Ruth that he found at the bottom of the pool. They thought it was a turd. He's like, don't worry. It's not a turd. It's not a turd. Look. And then he eats it. He didn't do that. But it would have been funny if he did. It's like, guys, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It's not a turd. It's not a turd. It's a baby Ruth. And then he eats the turd. Then he spits it out. It's actually a turd. I got another thing, too. I forgot again. But I'm trying to think again. Caddyshack, yeah, the National Lampoon people. They were like they started off as a magazine, like Mad Magazine. And then it turned into like a studio. I think they might have been behind Mad Magazine. There were so many writers behind that. I think eventually like Christopher Guest and stuff were loosely connected, maybe. Chevy Chase definitely was a part of it. And then, of course, Bill Murray and the Saturday Night Live people kind of snuck in. But it was actually separate from Saturday Night Live. It had its own entity. It wasn't exactly the same thing. Here's the greatest guy, though, is John Candy. He was doing like Canadian comedy television. It's like Canadian television. And he's weird ass, like knockoff, not even really Saturday Night Live, just like weird skits. And that dude could nail everything in one take. That's what they say. There's a racquetball scene in, is it Uncle? It's not Uncle Buck. No, is it Uncle Buck? He gets hit with a racquetball. It's one of them where they're playing racquetball. And he did it in one take, and then they're like, we're good. So he gets hit. But, yeah, he's an amazing actor, but he's passed away, though. All right. So Ron Howard directed Splash, and yes, there's a racquetball sequence in it. And John Candy nailed it in the first take. Ron Howard directed him. I'm starting to have a respect for Ron Howard and the filmmaking process. I know Backdraft's not everything, but Night Shift is a great movie. And another thing, too, that's great about Night Shift is Splash, which came out, what, later? Yeah. And Ron Howard and Daryl Hannah and John freaking Candy pitch. Matt Damon meets me. And we do scenes from planes, trains, and automobiles. He gets to play Neil Page, and I'll play John Candy.
Holly came from Miami.
But don't make me get fatter. I'm already too big now.
Hitchhiked away across USA.
I don't know.
Plucked her eyebrows
Preferably
on the
scenes that I
way.
choose for the
Shaved her
moment.
legs and then he was a
Because
she. She says, hey
Really,
babe,
I
take a walk on the
choose
wild
those
side.
scenes. I'll tell you why.
Said, hey
A
honey,
long time ago.
take a walk on the wild
A long,
side.
long time ago. Back in the theater history days, when the Roman gods were all doing their thing, there was an actor up there called
Candy
Latino.
came from out on the
He worked
island.
with the Commedia dell'arte.
In the back room, she was
He
everybody's
had a little
darling.
horn on his thing. It's kind of a bad
But she
guy.
never lost her head.
Well,
Even when
Neil
she
Page
was
is
given
more
head,
Masonic.
she says, hey babe,
John Candy is kind
take
of
a walk on
an
the
Arlecchino
wild
type.
side.
Maybe.
Said, hey babe,
Kind of a-
take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls go do 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 do.
I don't want to annoy you or anything. I was going to have Adam DeLue do it. He's not around anymore.
Little Joe never once gave it away.
And I was going to play no
Everybody
play.
had to pay and pay. A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is the place where they said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey Joe,
Why was your balls
take a
too
walk
much?
on the wild side.
Nobody wants to be John Candy. I'm telling you. You don't want to do that.
Sugar Plum Fairy
I met a
came
couple
and
guys
hit
like
the
that.
streets.
The
Looking
wives
for
love
soul
them.
food and a place to eat. Went to the Apollo, you should have seen him go, go, go. They said, hey, sugar, take a walk on the speeding away. Thought she was James Dean for a day. Then I guess she had to crash. Valium would have helped that dash. They said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey, honey, take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls say, do 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 do. It's the way you speak, forming words so easily. And I think of the way you think. It keeps me from falling asleep. I haven't stopped crying. My father's been drinking. I need a place to stay. I don't want to be here saying the words that I promised you.
Got a mellow.
Never say that
Mushroom.
liquid aches him. Speak the truth. And I said no. It's not that at all. It's that bottle lies for a troubled heart. Standing on the edge of a mountain top, screaming anything he wants.
So Matt Damon, he's like 180 right now. So during Odyssey, or the Odysseus, Ely and the Odyssey, however you want to call it, Odysseus, or I think it's the Odyssey. I think he was like 150, when he like 160. He lost weight for that. He was doing the boiled chicken thing. Now he's probably $170. I'm pushing 236. So, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be planes, trains, and automobiles, but you know what I mean, you know. Really what planes, trains, and automobiles is about is two class of people. It's about the upper class that likes very weird music and has a lot of money. They may drive an Audi. You got another guy that drives a Kia and listens to the Flintstones when he drives, or the Muppets or something, you know, and he has like the selling ability where he can sell shower curtain rings at an airport. And Neil Page, you know, hangs out with people that read Vogue magazine and make decisions on if this ad is going to go into like Vanity Fair, you know, or something, you know. They're very different. One shops at Jose Bank, the other one shops at Walmart, you know, or Big and Tall. Yeah, a Big and Tall store, basically. I don't know. It's a good movie. I don't think it needs to be remade. And a lot of people would agree with me. It doesn't really need to be remade. That's a tramp over there. That parking spot. They made it the TCU colors. I think it looks pretty good. It's an old stove they use. This has been around since the 70s. When it went into business in like 74 out of state. They brought it in later. But anyway. I don't know, man. I just trust the CPR guys. You know, the cell phone repair guys. They're just a little more corporate. But you never know. I don't know. I think they're probably like the only ones I trust, really. I've used them more than anybody else. But they're right here off of Bluebonnet Circle. Circle Theater started off here, and then they moved to West Magnolia. Now they're downtown. They're taking a hiatus. They're doing theater games, letting people, they do all kind of musical crap. They've been around forever. They actually did, I think they may have done The Moon Children, which is one of my plays is based on Moon Children and Waiting for Godot. Paging Neil Page. Paging Neil Page. Yeah. It's Neil Page here. You're paging me? Yeah. It's a weird name. Paging Neil Page. Paging Neil Page. Yeah. It's Neil Page here. You're paging me? Yeah. It's a weird name. You ever see that guy on YouTube who wears like 2 pair of glasses? Oh, yeah. I see that dude. He's like older. Yeah, he's kind of a nut. So when I'm in office, the delivery driver will be paid with USD and the New Liberty points. They'd be able to choose whatever they want to use for different things. Any kind of merchandise they would be able to purchase with stuff with the New Liberty points. They'd be getting those for each drop-off. Liberty points wouldn't really be able to touch the USD market. So it'd be like you'd be at a bank and you're applying for a loan. Are you using New Liberty points with this application? And what company do you work for? Oh, Grubhub. Okay. And you'd be able to keep doing what you're doing, and they would find a way. Ask any accountant if that's a bad idea. So how it would work, okay, is you would have a simple job, you would have a house, and you would have the best medical in the market, and your enemy would be paid with our New Liberty points. In the Last Temptation of Christ, he says, the rich will be poor, or the rich will be poor forever. Well, this would be the poor would be rich forever. Right? The opposite. The actor always does the opposite sometimes. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. I mean, they always do, but they sometimes do. You know, you tell Marlon Brando to do something, he does the opposite. But the rich wouldn't necessarily be poor. They'd be poor New Liberty points. But the poor would be very rich with New Liberty points. So all of a sudden, they would go to the bank and they'd say, here are my New Liberty points. It was approved. And the next thing you know, the credit card company stopped calling them. The next thing you know, they're approved. That's what happens when you win an Emmy or an Oscar or whatever. You just put it down in the little thing. It raises your credit. Well, New Liberty points would be like winning that kind of award in any form or fashion. For one thing, you'd be allowed to play it. The next thing, you'd be able to beat out the rich. Faith, hope, love, and charity, the pigeon wing. Filter it through. I'm ready to answer your questions. My name is Jonathan Cole Spivey. I'm with the New Liberty Party. All of a sudden, the rich would wake up and they say, didn't you hear about the New Liberty Party? I'm like, what is that? You'll have to go to the bank and talk about that. They would sit down and there's been a law that's been passed. Can we see your New Liberty points, please? New Liberty, what? I didn't vote for that lunatic. We're going to have a talk. I'm your personal banker. We're going to have a little talk. Because there's been new laws written pretty much into the Constitution. May I see your New Liberty points? All of a sudden, their hands start shaking. And they're looking for like a gun or a window. But don't worry. Today, you can get started by going over to the sidewalk and talking to someone that knows about the New Liberty Party. Like I said, it'll all happen in one night. Maybe 4. Rich people would be monitored. They're already monitored anyway through ADT. Sometimes even ADT corporate. They'd be monitored. And one day they'd wake up and realize what they owed. New Liberty. New Liberty. Very good. We get to the next one, which is here. New Liberty. There's New Liberty. New Liberty. Now for the rich, they better start raking their neighbor's yard and showing proof of it, because they'll be monitored as of right now. So you better get off your hiney, Bradley Cooper, and rake your neighbor's yard. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the guy. He has a slight lisp. Sorry, I didn't understand the guy. He has a slight lisp. True. You didn't, but you didn't have to understand. 2 things that they'll hear. First thing is, they'll hear this. because it went into effect now. First thing, they'll hear this. You need to learn to listen. And the second thing they'll hear is this. You didn't know it was against the law. Does it look like I'm lying? So if you're a rich person, you need to go to your neighbors and start raking their yard. Videotape it and send it to the right platform. Just guess which one it would be. If you're poor, just pick up a single piece of trash and show it. You can even pick it off the neighbor's yard. Just a single piece of trash will be fine. If you're rich, you need to get a rake and start going to your neighbor's yard and start raking it. And then ask them to please let you. Send that footage up. We'll monitor it. Some say it's a dystopian novel. And some say it's reality.
No cruiser number identified. The restaurant is identified.
Location of corrupt cop. About right here. It's black and white. FPIU. Ford Police. Interceptor Utility. Can't beat radio, can you, Dad? Or radar. 8:32, Monday, July 27th, 2026, in the year of our Lord. Side view.
Probably ran that light right there.
It's a 7. It's a 1 and a 4. C71. Time 8:33 p.m. Location marked. Firehouse Subs. Corruption in process. Radio. Monday, July 27th, 2026. Back to media, back to right here. About right there. Mark. Rib out.